What is up, Cleveland Browns fans? Welcome into the Browns Daily Blitz podcast right here on FanStream Sports. It's your old friend IndyCar Tim, and boys and girls, we've got one of those days. One of those drop everything, refresh your phone, stare at the wall, and question everything in life. And question everything that this franchise has ever done. It's one of those days. Because according now to multiple reports confirmed, the Cleveland Browns are finalizing a monster trade to send Myles Garrett, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, seven-time Pro Bowler, franchise cornerstone, walking nightmare for quarterbacks, to the Los Angeles Rams. Coming back to Cleveland, Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and more draft compensation that is still being worked out. So let's call it what it is. It is not just a trade. This is an organizational earthquake. For years, Garrett was the guy in Cleveland, not just the best player on the Browns, not just the best defender on the Browns. He was the face of the franchise, the rare guy who could wreck a game even when the rest of the team was leaking oil. And now if this deal goes through as expected, he's gone to the Rams. Because, of course, it's the Rams. The same Rams that went all in for Matt Stafford and won a Super Bowl in Los Angeles. The same team that lives by the to hell with the draft picks lifestyle. The same team that apparently looked at another Super Bowl coming to SoFi Stadium and said, you know what this party needs? The best defensive player in all of football. And that's what makes this thing sting even more for Browns fans. The Rams are chasing a ring with the Browns' best player now, while the Browns are resetting the board. Now, let's talk about what Cleveland is getting, because this isn't just some mystery box of draft picks. Jared Verse is a real player. He's 25. He was the Rams' first-round pick in 2024. Over the last 2 years, he's put up 12 sacks, 22 tackles for loss. That is production in youth. That's a cheaper contract. That's a guy who can step in and immediately become a major piece of the Browns' defense. But let's not do the thing where we pretend this is an even emotional swap. Jared Verse is really, really good. Myles Garrett is legendary. And he's just 29 still. He's under contract, it's easy for me to say, through 2030. He's coming off a season in which he reportedly set the NFL's all-time single-season sack record. Reportedly. He signed a 4-year, $160 million extension with $123 million guaranteed with a no-trade clause, which means Garrett had to approve this. Garrett might have even pushed this. We all remember what happened last offseason. Was it last offseason or two offseason? I can't even remember. Where he demanded a trade. And Andrew Berry stuck to his guns. We're not trading him. Well, what happened now? This wasn't just the Browns shipping out a couch on Facebook Marketplace. Garrett had all the leverage, and now he is waiving the no-trade clause to go to the Rams, and that tells you plenty. The Browns said they didn't want to trade him. They reportedly told the Rams no. They were firm, very publicly, very firm. They were firm very privately. But apparently the Rams kept calling and calling and calling. And eventually Cleveland got the price it wanted, versus a first-rounder and more stuff coming. And that's the part that the Browns fans have to wrestle with today, because can you justify trading Myles Garrett? Football-wise, maybe. Emotionally, zero chance. Cleveland reportedly saves around $30 million in cash with this deal. The Browns get younger. They add premium draft ammunition. They get a pass rusher that they don't have to extend until after this season. And now they're scheduled to have 11 picks in the 2027 NFL draft, including 2 first-rounders and a pile of mid-round capital. That gives the front office flexibility. But here's the problem. Flexibility does not sack quarterbacks. Draft capital doesn't win on third down. Cap relief doesn't scare Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, or whoever the hell is going to start in Pittsburgh on Sundays. Myles Garrett did. And that's why this is going to be a brutal sell to the fans in Cleveland, because Browns fans have heard the whole future assets discussion before. They've heard the long-term value approach before. They've heard the "we're building this thing the right way" speech before. At some point, fans want to stop building and start winning. And trading away the best defensive player in football does not feel like winning today. It feels like another very hard reset. It feels like another franchise pivot. It sounds like another reminder that even when Cleveland has a superstar, keeping everything aligned around that superstar is its own battle. And it's a battle that the Browns lost today. So let's be fair. There's risk for the Rams too. They're taking on a massive contract. Garrett is still elite right now, but he's also 29. They're giving up on a very young pass rusher prospect, and he's not even a prospect anymore. I think he's established. Inverse, you're giving up major draft capital, and they've already been aggressive. They already added Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. So, as they've done before, this is Super Bowl or bust behavior. And that franchise has made it happen before. And it's what aggressive franchises do when they see a window. They don't tap the glass. They jump right through it. And the Browns, meanwhile, are choosing value, and they're choosing future flexibility. And maybe that ends up being smart. I don't know yet. But right now, this feels like total BS. Maybe Jared Verse becomes a Pro Bowl player in Cleveland. Maybe that 2027 first-round pick becomes a franchise-changing piece. Maybe the extra compensation helps the Browns rebuild the roster the right way. Am I optimistic about that? Nope. But today is more about the shock. Today is about watching Myles Garrett, the guy who should have been a Brown forever and should have been hoisting a Lombardi trophy in Cleveland, become the crown jewel of someone else's Super Bowl plan. Where does that leave Cleveland? It leaves the Browns with a younger defensive centerpiece in Verse, more draft power, and a front office that just made one of the boldest moves in franchise history. It also leaves them with a massive question mark. Are they retooling? Or are they admitting that this version of the Browns wasn't close enough? Because you don't trade Myles Garrett unless you believe the return is too good to pass up, or unless you know something about the direction of your roster that the rest of us are about to find out the hard way. That's the uncomfortable part. This trade may make sense on a spreadsheet, but football isn't played on a spreadsheet. It's played by monsters. And Cleveland just traded away its biggest one. That's where we'll leave it today, boys and girls. What are your thoughts? Leave me a comment here in the video section, the comment section under the video right here at FanStream Sports Ohio. We would love to hear from you. If you'd like to reach out to us, if you're listening to the recorded podcast, 214-937-0569 is the FanStream Sports Studio text line. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you tell us your name, where you're texting from, and what your comment or question is. We'll make you part of the next show. Myles Garrett to the Rams. Jared Verse now belongs to Cleveland. Browns fans, buckle up. This one's going to be debated for years. Stay locked in right here on FanStream Sports. Till next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.